Hey honor students, Mrs. Loy here with your week 5 update of our extended e-learning experience. So I'm going to start by going over the weekly checklist just to make sure that everybody has a full understanding of what is coming at them this week. And just so you guys know, just a heads up and a positive heads up, this is our last week working with the tragedy of Julius Caesar. So hooray! I know some of you are going to be excited to put this behind us and move on to something different. So let's go ahead and take a look at our weekly checklist and break that down by day. Okay, so here we are in the week 5 checklist, and I want to go ahead and walk through this with you guys. You'll notice up at the top, I have changed my podcast recommendation for this week. It's actually a daily TED Talk about being okay with feeling overwhelmed during this time. I know a lot of you have been messaging me, especially when it comes to your writing and how you're feeling overwhelmed. I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed because we are working through checkpoints A and B for all of the writing that you're doing. And please know that I am here to assist you. There's a note on the Wednesday date that says that small group writing workshops and like feedback sessions can be scheduled on Zoom. So if that is something that you're interested in, please make sure that you're reaching out to me in regards to that. So I also wanted to remind you guys that the Sunday agenda is going to be the main point for accessing all of our assignments. So a lot of students are just kind of pick and choosing through the days of the week trying to find all of their assignments, but especially for language arts, I'm using that Sunday agenda as the hub. And then I'm using this checklist as a really good component for you guys to kind of gauge and manage your time, because as you'll notice, the things that you're required to do always have a time limit or like a time guesstimate as to how long I think that you'll be working on that. So attendance this week. This is a brand new feature to our weekly checklist. It's going to be based on your checkpoint A for the writing workshop on Monday and Tuesday. So in order to get credit for participating in week 5, you have to make sure that you're getting that checkpoint A done. Obviously, having checkpoint A is going to set you up for success on checkpoint B. So make sure that you are planning your week accordingly. Diving into Monday and Tuesday, we do have our live Zooms this week. We have been doing some really cool live writing sessions at the end of our live Zooms. So if that is something that you know that you want, please feel free to join us on Monday and Tuesday. Towards the end of the session is when we have those live writing times. And it's been super helpful if you talk to any of the students that have come to a live Zoom. I think they find them really helpful, and they usually are the ones to submit their assignments first, and then they are usually the students who don't have to end up doing a checkpoint B because they've already had some initial feedback from me on how they're doing. So your mini lesson this week is going to focus on the counterclaim and rebuttal paragraph of your Caesar paper. You're going to have a mini lesson where I'm going to walk you through what that looks like. You're going to craft your own during the work time. I've provided two kind of guiding questions to lead you in your counterclaim and rebuttal work time this week. What is an opposite or different idea about who best uses rhetorical devices in Caesar? Since we're talking about characters, there's not really opposite characters, but if I'm talking about Cassius, the opposite or another idea might be Antony. If I'm talking about Antony, another character might be Brutus or Cassius. So thinking about the big three, like maybe referencing another one of the big three in your counterclaim would be a good place to start, and I'll talk about that in your mini lesson. And then the second question, how can I redirect the reader back to the original character that I focused on my counterclaim, or I focused on in my claim statement? So you're going to present another idea, another character that you think best uses rhetorical devices, and then you're going to guide the reader back to the original character from your claim. And then I'm going to give you another guiding question. Is there evidence that supports this idea? In the share time, you're going to be sharing either your counterclaim sentence or your rebuttal statement. And if you guys remember when we did the TikTok article earlier this year, usually your counterclaim and your rebuttal sometimes show up in the exact same sentence. Sometimes they're separate, but sometimes they're not. And again, I'll remind you of that when we get into our mini lesson. Alrighty, heading into Wednesday, we have our Woodside Day. Thank you again to all of you that are showing up for our breakfast Zooms. We're having a great time hanging out. We talked about chinchillas last week. We talked about the sale on American Eagle jeans. I don't know. It was a really fun session. We got some new people involved that hadn't been on yet. So just know that I am available on Zoom from 9 to 10 a.m. on Wednesdays to hang out with you guys and just kind of talk about how your week's going. We also talked about what we miss during the quarantine and what we're really looking forward to as we come out of quarantine. And then heading into Thursday and Friday, you have that last, that revision writing workshop. So you're going to be revising your counterclaim and your rebuttal, reworking, and submitting to checkpoint B. Please remember, guys, that if you are doing really well on your checkpoint A's and you're achieving mastery, so we've considered mastery to be that 11 or 12 out of 12, and I have yet to craft your rubric for counterclaims and rebuttals. But either way, like if you're not within the top 2 points of the rubric, then you're probably going to want to do some reworking. We shouldn't ever just be okay with not being able to do the best work that we can, especially when we get that second opportunity. So I would really encourage you guys participate in both checkpoints. If you're not getting all the way to mastery, working on our analysis skills is just really going to help prepare you for next year and help you be help you have the best analytical skills that you can. Heading into the summer, you're going to be working on analysis with your summer reading. So all the skills we're working on right now are just going to transform tenfold into the coming years. So again, thank you guys for listening in today. I am glad that I've had a chance to be with you guys for 5 weeks and just be guiding you through this learning process. Again, I miss you and I wish that we could see each other, but or like see each other in person, but it's always been good to see you guys on the live Zoom. So take care. Let me know any questions that you have and have a super week 5.